The birth of Lord Buddha, known as Siddhartha Gautama before he attained enlightenment, is surrounded by rich symbolism and mythological significance. Here's the story as it is told in Buddhist tradition. The birth of Siddhartha Gautama. Siddhartha was born around the 6th century BCE in the city of Lumbini, which is now in present-day Nepal. His mother, Queen Maya, was the wife of King Suddhodana of the Shakya clan, and she was a kind and virtuous queen. The dream of Queen Maya. Before Siddhartha's birth, Queen Maya had a vivid dream that is often described as a divine and prophetic sign. One night, as she slept, she dreamt that a white elephant with 6 tusks entered her womb through her right side. In some versions of the story, the elephant was carrying a lotus flower, symbolizing purity. This dream was interpreted by the court astrologers as a sign that she would give birth to a son who would either become a great king or a spiritual leader who would change the world. The birth. One day, while Queen Maya was traveling to her parents' home in the city of Devadaha, she stopped to rest in the beautiful garden of Lumbini. It was under a sal tree in the garden that she gave birth to Siddhartha. The birth is described as miraculous. As soon as he was born, Siddhartha is said to have taken 7 steps in each of the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, and declared, "I am the leader of the world." Immediately, lotus flowers are said to have bloomed where his feet touched the ground, symbolizing his purity and spiritual potential. The prophecy. At the moment of his birth, a wise sage or holy man named Asita visited the palace and prophesied that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a great spiritual leader who would find the solution to the suffering of humanity. The king, hoping his son would become a mighty ruler, tried to shield Siddhartha from the suffering of the world, believing that if he were exposed to the hardships of life, he might choose the path of renunciation. Early life of Siddhartha. Siddhartha grew up in luxury, surrounded by every comfort imaginable. His father, King Suddhodana, wanted to protect him from the harsh realities of life and provided him with a sheltered environment where he was never exposed to old age, sickness, or death. He married a beautiful princess named Yasodhara, and they had a son, Rahula. But despite his royal upbringing and luxurious life, Siddhartha was curious and yearned for a deeper understanding of life. When he was in his 20s, he ventured out of the palace and encountered for the first time an old man, a sick man, and a corpse, all of which made him realize the inescapable nature of suffering. Finally, he saw an ascetic, a man who had renounced the world in search of spiritual enlightenment. These encounters profoundly disturbed him and made him question the purpose of life and the nature of suffering. It was at this point that he decided to leave his palace, his wife, and his newborn son in search of the truth. Siddhartha's decision to leave his royal life behind is known as the Great Renunciation. He cut off his hair, put on simple robes, and set out to find a solution to the problem of suffering. This marked the beginning of his journey toward enlightenment, which would eventually lead him to become the Buddha, the awakened one. His birth, and the early events in his life, set the stage for his quest for understanding and his ultimate attainment of Buddhahood. His life and teachings would go on to shape the path of Buddhism and influence millions of people around the world. Symbolism of the birth. The birth of Lord Buddha is rich with symbolism. The dream of the white elephant signifies purity and spiritual greatness. His first steps and declaration emphasize his destined role as a leader and teacher. The blooming lotus flowers symbolize spiritual purity and the potential for enlightenment, rising above the muck and suffering of life. His birth in Lumbini is significant as it marks the beginning of a new spiritual journey for humanity. Thus, the birth of Siddhartha Gautama was not just a physical event, but a profound moment in the history of human consciousness, setting the stage for his later teachings on suffering, the path to liberation, and the nature of existence.